This journey is long as shit. We are consciousness, energy, and I'm not really too surprised to realize that they got it switched. Not because they wanted this, but they were persuaded it. And from suffering, it sounded good to look up to yourself. But the real thing we had to do was stand up within ourselves. As I continue to develop, I see that my attention is me. My attention is me. Everything that I focus on, everything that I allow myself to focus on, has some type of aspect of me, some element of me. Or else most times it falls in the bucket of old conversations that I'm not having anymore. And I think those who stand up within themselves are embracing the challenge to have the conversation, to be a part of the conversation, to learn from the conversation, to find ways to develop themselves thanks to the conversation. So as I start understanding my attention is me, I just realize how easy it is to not focus on things that are not me, things that are not reflective of who I am. And most times, it's not about doing anything. Like, when it comes to someone else's observation in their life and your observation of their ways of seeing life, you just have to stop looking that way. And I could kind of explain it to y'all, to myself, in a way that makes more sense than I've been learning before anyways. This is another way to upgrade. It's really a lot like Instagram. Because Instagram's like a buffet. You have so much there. I want some of this, but I don't really want none of that. I'm gonna have some of this, but I don't want none of that. I'm gonna get a little more scoop of this. Right? And then, if you understand, I'm gonna break it down for y'all. On Instagram, right? You scroll and you see posts. Post could be a photo or a video. Right? Right? Photo or video. And imagine every post having a post ID. It'd probably be in the trillions and billions, cotillions. But imagine each post had a post ID, and the Instagram algorithm is able to discern because everything is clocked. You feel me? Motherboard, processor, everything is clocked. So if you see something that you don't like, what do you do about that? You normally don't engage it. You normally don't double tap, right? But when you do double tap, what does Instagram do? It's going to show you the freshest post tomorrow because it sees you engaged, right? Okay. So what if I don't like this shit I'm looking at? Well, the best thing you could do is swipe past it as fast as
Before you swipe past, make sure to unfollow that page.
possible because the Instagram algorithm is clocking and taking count of how many seconds that post is in front of the margins of your phone screen. So if you don't like it, but you spent 35 minutes watching it or reading the post over and over and over again because you was triggered, Instagram's going to show you some more information from that source. Right? So keep that focus under 1 second, dog. Especially on that bullshit from auntie and uncle. Keep that shit under 1 second, dog. Cause If you had it in your mind for 1 second, it's probably going to be like rinsing out a glass that you just drank coconut water out of. But if you have a 35-minute conversation, it's like you just drank a smoothie out the glass and didn't wash it for 4 hours. And then it's going to take some arm and some leg to get that bitch squeaky clean. How about that? It's the attention you give it. It's the attention you give it. So in another form, because I know somebody else didn't really grab that one, so I'll have another one for you, sis. Um, if you look at, let's say, a lady in a party or something, some type of gathering, right? You standing by the wall with your friend, y'all talking, and you feel like you're being watched, even though the person in front of you is watching you. You just feel like somebody on your left just got their eyes on you, and you turn, and lo and behold, handsome man like me standing there looking at you, right? I'm tripping. But the reason why you turned is because you felt it. You felt it. It happened first on an internal level, something that was outside of the physical. See, attention over time builds feeling. Attention over time builds feeling. If you were standing in front of Trader Joe's, you about to buy these delicious ass strawberries or something, and the person right next to you or behind you, or the person in the line next to you is staring at you instead of standing in line, then you're gonna be like, why? Oh, what the hell are you looking at? Why? Because attention builds feeling over time. Let me give y'all one more. With Instagram, right? Using that one. Imagine that something slides down your timeline that you do appreciate and you double tap it. That's like plucking the string of a guitar. Down. And like all vibrations, they must be perceived. They'll say a tree doesn't fall and no one hears it. Does it still make a sound? Of course it does, because vibration doesn't lie. Vibration is a law. It doesn't stop. It doesn't cease. It doesn't go away because there's no one to hear it. Because the space that we call the universe is a listening organism in a sense. So if you pluck that string of something good, the universe hears that. And you also hear that because you are the universe. This is your universe. This is your song. So as you pluck that string of something good in your life, you get used to that sound. And when it goes inside you and it sinks into your heart, into your subconscious tells you the sound that you want to hear. So then you continue to pluck the sounds that you want to hear. And just like attention builds feeling, that attention to the sound of the goodness in your life is going to build a bigger feeling for you. Because that's the law. I didn't make this shit up. I just worked this shit, okay? So, in the same exact way, if you pluck the string of something that you don't like, if you pluck the string of something that you don't want, your heart hears it. And as it becomes stable in your heart then calls out for that by which you believe is yours. And you continue to pluck that string. It's the same thing as Instagram, and why you following bullshit ass pages you don't really want to follow just to be triggered by. You feel me? So that's the power of engaging in an idea. I hope you engage in this idea and find some good things to pluck on, some good strings in your life to realize that you've been growing, that you've been transforming, that you've been developing, and that you've been focusing your attention on ways to improve yourself more than other ideas. Because when you have those realizations about who you are, there's a reason why sometimes silence is golden. because your mind has been updated by spirit, but those around you might not necessarily have had the chance to hear it. It was told to you vibrationally. So, in that same way, you going to give them the upgrade without them asking for it is only going to cause them to tell you what they know is true. Sorry, excuse me. That's only going to cause them to tell you what they think is true because they don't know the truth. That's really what it was. But I just wanted to share myself with me because I feel like this shit getting easier. I mean, sort of, when it comes to like explaining and comprehending. I feel like that part is getting easier, but the shit still got to be the work. So